Hello, welcome to the first official ABD video. Today, I, Sanity, shall be demonstrating Tusk Act 4 and everything that you need to know about it. Tusk Act 4 is a mainly long-range stand with some pretty decent power. It's also very big. Now, Act 4 isn't something you can just simply get from a stand arrow, nor is it some sort of random Requiem ability, but rather it's something that you have to gain with multiple steps. In order to start with getting Tusk, you must first get Spin, which is gained from this guy for like $10,000. And once you have Spin, all you need to do is beat the hell out of Funny Valentine until he finally drops one of these things. And once you finally have one of these glowing holy hands, use on Spin, and then you finally get yourself Act 1. Wait, you thought you got Act 4 immediately? Now the glowing holy hand is only 15% drop from Funny Man, so you need to beat him quite a few times until you finally get yourself and your own grimy, grubby hands on Act 4. Now let's just jump right into the showcase, shall we? Tusk Act 4 has some pretty funky abilities, both in terms of passive and active abilities. Before we get into its abilities, let's check the stats. Tusk Act 4 stats are an A in power, an B in speed, and an A in durability. Tusk has a few passive abilities. One of the main passive effects is a pretty good and clearly balanced passive health regen that makes most damage done to you almost as useful as throwing a pencil at you. A second passive ability, which has to be activated manually, which we'll go over later, I guess, is the ability to say no to pretty much almost any ability in the game. You can move in time stop, you can pretty much bypass gravitational effects, you can also pretty much bypass any ability that would normally reflect damage back to you. The only thing that can't bypass is Epitaph, which is probably considered over heaven in the game files. You can't bypass it. Now let's get on to the main abilities. Normal click attack is pretty average, it does decent damage. I mean, it's nothing I would really write home about. It's just, like, literally no one really uses it, so why would anyone really go over it? The attack is a standard barrage that slows down whoever it hits and does decent damage again. Really, nothing too fancy, nothing too, flashy, nothing really too much to worry about. Your attack is a standard strong punch, except for the fact that it sends whoever it hits right into the Shadow Realm. T-Attack is one of the few moves that you can do without having Tusk active, which is pretty funky, and it's a standard nail shot that can be aimed in any direction. You can fire up to 5 of these in quick succession before you have to wait for a cooldown, which pretty much affects pretty much a lot of the other attacks, to be honest. Another ability is pressing and holding V, which changes the effects of the Y and H attacks. The Y attack is a nail shot that, if it hits, it nullifies the target's abilities for a few seconds. Pressing V while using the Y attack will have Tusk momentarily forget who it's fighting against and decides to hit you with immense spinning power. After this sudden side change, you're hit with 10 seconds to health drain, but it also gives you the bypassing passive effect mentioned earlier. The H attack is a projectile that is infused with so much normie energy that everyone around the hit target will be repelled by the Instagram meme page promotions caused by this projectile. The V form of this attack is an AoE version of this projectile that causes anyone hit to take more damage from the normal version of the attack. It also gives them this weird golden particle effect. So I guess that's a thing. The Z ability, which for most stands is usually a powerful stand jump, is instead replaced by using your immense brain power to glide at such high speeds that running into anyone causes them to freeze in place due to your overpowered brain capacity. The last attack is the F ability, which can only be done at low health. This ability channels all your rage into a 10-second ass beating that pummels any target caught in it. One final ability is specific only to the pose, and it's the ability to hover in midair while you're posing. And you can also do this with Tusk if you really wanted to. With all this in mind, let's rate Tusk Act 4. Tusk has some pretty good stats and a pretty decent move list. Its damage is almost comparable to GER, however it can really only barely go against Requiem and Over Heaven. And even though it's the only stand in the game that can move in time stop and can bypass Love Train, it still can't bypass abilities like Epitaph, which the stands mentioned before can bypass. So, overall I rate Tusk Act 4 7.5 out of 10.